Today we're talking about how to build your program and then add additional masterclasses. This is going to be a really exciting show because we get asked these questions a lot. People just don't understand how to put together all of the content that we put out and the great programs that we have into something that is going to achieve their goals. Stick around.
What's up, everyone? My name's Yanni Gormeister. To my left, we got Phil White, switched on physio, and across the table we got Rad. Behind the mixer we got Richie. We are Unity Gym. Guys, if you want to know how we turn driven people into athletes, you can learn all of our biggest insights over the last 2 decades by downloading our blueprints. They're available in the description of this replay or podcast. Otherwise, you can go to our website. Big show today, fellas. Wrapping up the week. We're going to teach people how to put programs together with a little bit of skill-based training built around, big spoiler, a foundation of strength, flexibility, and fitness.
Yep. There's a big one for me because there's a lot of shows where I just sit here being quiet while you guys nerd out about things. But today I get the limelight. I'm going to be, this is my jam, talking about this stuff and the stuff that I'm passionate about. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Well, I like nerding out.
Yeah, and I think there's some really great principles to apply here, and we'll solve a lot of the problems that I see as well as a physio. So much of the challenge of physio is people struggle to fit in rehab programs to the rest of their training. So yeah, I'm stoked we're talking about this because remember whenever you're learning this sort of stuff, principles are key, and if you can apply it to other parts of your training, then you're going to get a long way.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, the first thing that we should talk about is something that we introduce in our fast growth workshop, which is the idea of having a goal, a goal daily workout, an ideal daily workout, and a minimum viable daily workout, and that's what we teach people. So your goal daily workout is what you intend to do. You know, what you'd like to get done. And what we teach people at Unity Gym is that is their 1 hour class at Unity Gym a day. So that's your goal. Your goal is to come to the gym and do your 1 hour training. So if you're one of our UMS online coaching members, then your goal would be just to get through the basic UMS program. You want to focus on strength, flexibility, and all the things we've been talking about this week. And then you have your ideal workout, and your ideal workout might be that, I'd really like to learn a handstand, or I'd like to be able to do the splits in 6 to 12 months, or whatever it is. And that is additional training. That's extra stuff that it shouldn't replace your goal workout. It's like, okay, if I can get that extra half an hour in today, then I'm going to work on that skill. And then you have your minimum viable workout, which is even on the worst day, even on the days where you're just absolutely pumped and you just can't get into the gym, you can't do your training, what is the minimum you do to make sure that you don't go backwards? And what we recommend for people in our online coaching community is that's the 18-minute stretching routine or the warm-ups from the UMS online coaching.
Yeah, I think this is a really important thing. And I know you want to dive into the ultimate workout, which is where we're going today. But I think it would be really cool for all of us quickly, all three of us, to share what our minimum workout is, to give some people who maybe aren't at that level yet a little bit of a take home from today. And I'm happy to go first. My minimum daily workout is the warm-up routine that we have. We have another 6-minute squat routine that I really like as well, but usually the warm-up routine, less the rings because I don't have them at home, and that covers all the mobility that I want to do. And then I also try to always, as a minimum, if I don't get a workout done in the gym in the evening, before I have my evening shower, I go for a 15-minute run. And I've got I live in a beautiful place in the world, so right on Sydney Harbour. 15 minutes means that I can run all the way down to Sydney Harbour, do a lap, and I get to look at the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House and the new Crown complex that they're building over there, which I love, and then run home up the hill. And that is just under a 5-minute kilometre, and it's done in 15 minutes, and that just does it for me. I feel fantastic after that. It's not too long, it's not too short. So a bit of mobility, a bit of cardio. How about you, Phil?
Let's go around the table. Mine's shifted from when I was in lockdown. It was absolutely I had to get into do a surf every day. So I loved that combination of a bit of cardio exercise, a bit of skill development, and also just being able to sit and look at the horizon after being in an apartment all day. And that's kind of shifted now that I'm back in the gym. And yeah, I'm really like my body feels so much better when doing weight. So I make and strength training. So I make sure to get, if it's Monday, it's the vertical push pull. Just get like the most basic barbell movements in for that. If I can't fit 5 sets in, then I'll do 3 sets. Just like make sure to get those movement patterns in then, and Tuesday squat, and so on throughout the week. So if I just get those strength movements in, I know my body will feel that much more supported because my active structures are being conditioned and strong.
How intense is surfing? Anyone who doesn't think that surfing is a workout, go
man.
surfing.
My shoulders, wow.
Upper body, and it's so good for thoracic extension as well.
And at the moment, because I'm really keen on giving myself golfer's elbow, because I think it's going to be a great learning experience myself as a physio, because it's something that I see the most. I've had it mildly before, but I'm working on kind of getting a nasty case of it so I can rehab my way out of it. So as my must-do workout also includes some wrist curls at the moment, which is a bit ridiculous, but do it for the learning,
Yeah. What's Rad's minimum daily workout?
Oh, it's the 18-minute stretching routine version 2 that hasn't been released yet.
Oh,
coming out next week.
snap.
That's why we're releasing that next week, because what I do for my minimum daily workout has evolved a lot over the years, and it used to be the 18-minute stretching routine, but there's a lot of things that resemble it, but there's some things that have evolved. I've figured out better ways to do things and become more efficient. I think I don't even know how long the 18-minute stretching routine version 2 is going to take. I think it might be less than 18 minutes though, because I have never filmed it and put it on.
Doing a Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be. I think it might be like the 13-minute stretching routine, or the 9 or something like that. Because I get it done more efficiently now, and that's my minimum. My minimum is to get that done.
And so quickly, just to really drive this home, guys. No one lives in a perfect world, and very few people can guarantee that they're going to get their goal workout done every day. And so having a minimum go-to routine really takes the pressure off, and you can achieve phenomenal results over a 12-month period if you just focus on getting your minimum daily done. And what we find on a psychological level is if your minimum daily is done in your gym, 9 times out of 10, getting to the gym and getting through the door is the hardest part. So if you just go, I'm just going to get in there on my way to work and get my minimum done, you'll often end up
a little bit more.
Doing a little bit more.
I find that at home as well.
Yeah.
So my minimum daily workout will then often turn into a couple of handstands.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
Or a little bit of splits training or pancake or something like that. Because as soon as I'm warm, I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do anything right now. I might just do a little bit of this,
Yeah, it's all about banking small wins.
Yep,
and success comes from a multitude of small wins that create progress and momentum,
Now, we're going to very briefly talk about what the goal workout is, because we've been talking about this all week. And the goal workout should be a workout that balances strength, flexibility, and fitness. And it's structural balance, all of that stuff. And it is, for you that are listening that aren't a member of Unity Gym, it is the UMS online coaching program.
Yeah.
So that is the goal workout. That is the workout that if you do
all the foundations program.
The foundations program.
Yeah.
Well,
that
starts
with the foundations program.
Yeah. That is, if you do that daily, you are going to consistently get stronger, get more balanced, get more flexible, and all of these things. And as soon as you're really going to make some leaps and bounds forward as long as you do.
I am absolutely gobsmacked at the results that just that delivers. Rad, myself, and Richie, and even Phil to a degree, we get very hung up on being ahead of the game, and being able to outperform our members. And I'll be honest, guys, there's periods where my goal of a workout, and the reason why we created this formula of the minimum goal and your ultimate workout is because I often stagnate because I can't get my ultimate workout done. And then I just go, it's an all or nothing attitude.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm not going to work out today. I've got so much work to do and I can't do 2 hours. I can't do 3 hours, And then I watch how our members progress over a 6-month period or a 12-month period by just doing the goal amount, the hour of a balanced workout where every mesocycle they assess. Once they've gone through the foundations program, they assess themselves every 6 weeks. That helps them change and update their program based on their weakest links. these guys are transforming. You know, we got guys in here who walked in stiff as breadboards, and girls with busted up backs and injuries and this and that. And I go out on the gym floor and see what they're doing now. Face to floor pancakes, you know, double body weight back squats, all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm just like,
lost 30
whoa.
pounds of weight.
You know,
and,
so without a doubt, we're going to
amazing.
skim over this because we have driven it home this week. But without a doubt, the goal workout, what everyone should be shooting for, is what we've been talking about: the foundation, the balance in strength flexibility, the anatomical structural balance, meaning training in a way that is overcoming your weak links and keeping a good balance between push-pull, squat, bend, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, and I've kind of noticed it a few times when we've had new members come in and they sort of seem like there's not kind of enough in there, like it's not, you know, like it seems too simple or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's a message that, you know, I keep talking about. The simplicity done consistently is just
100%.
like such a powerful thing. And so yeah.
So I'm going to answer Lee's question quickly, because in a minute, guys, I am about to jump into each of our individual masterclasses and tell you exactly how you use them and fit them into your with your goal workout. But Lee has a good question here saying, just starting foundations, coming from CrossFit practice, is there cardio in foundations? And the answer is no, there isn't, but there should be, and we provide it for you. So I'm going to tell you how, and I'm going to tell you why. We've kept the programs as simple as possible, because what we found was that more is often less, and it just confuses people. So the foundations program is what it is. It's the strength and the flexibility and the structural balance. The cardio is in a way, it's one of the easiest things to do. Like, a lot of people can just go for a run or a cycle or a swim or have a rowing machine at home or whatever. And you don't really need to be coached by a trainer of our level. That said, if you don't have access to any of those things and you really do need to be shown what to do, that's one of the reasons why we film these at-home workouts. And all you need to do, which is a part of the UMS program, you get access to this, any of the at-home workouts, the circuit that we do at the end that goes for 12 minutes, that would be more than enough cardio for you to do in a day, and it's a really good option that requires no equipment. And if you watched me do those cardio workouts, they absolutely leveled me. In 12 minutes you can, or 16 minutes, you can really get 12 minutes.
Just
you can
remember,
get a great workout.
it's important to remind everybody and all of the viewers and listeners that the Foundations program and any structural balance or remedial or conditioning program, depending on which coach you work with, they might label it differently. It might be a preparation program. There is a very specific goal. You get in there, you get out. And this is why we always cringe when people say, I'm going back to do phase 1 again because I feel like I didn't quite nail it. That's not the purpose of the Foundations program or a preparation program. You know, it is a very specific purpose. Get in there, get all your base lifts that you probably have never done before. For some people, they've never done rotator cuff specific work or trap 3 work, forearm, flexion, extension, ulnar and radial deviation, supination, pronation. They've never bulletproofed their forearms to avoid tendinopathy, things like that feels so desperately trying to get. Just get in there, get it done, get out. And if that means that your cardio drops a little bit, it's 9 to 12, or if you're a real newbie, 16 weeks.
18 weeks.
18 weeks, is it?
Maximum it should take. You should not be in that foundations program, that all 3 phases for longer than 18 weeks. You've got to move on from it and take the training wheels off. One
fantastic thing about cardiovascular is that it comes back real quick. If you've had a good foundation base of good cardio fitness, you'll have it back in less than a month.
But that said, sorry, I'm just going to say this real quick. The research shows that 8 minutes of high intensity interval training once a week is enough to increase cardiovascular fitness. Now, that means it's what we call a balls to the wall effort, where you are literally in a puddle of sweat, gasping for air by the end of it, which is at a higher intensity than what a lot of people can train at. But that's why in those at-home workouts we did 12 minutes. If you do that even just twice a week for 12 minutes, you're going to get fitter.
It's also much easier to incidentally increase your cardiovascular fitness by choosing different options when you're moving around the world. So like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or like getting off the bus stop earlier to get you walking in, or running to
Walk at
places
a
that you'd
brisk
often
pace instead of
like
at a slow
increasing
pace,
your pace. But it's very hard to incidentally increase your strength in a targeted progressive overload sort of way.
Yeah,
so
that's a great point.
that's why you can really focus on getting the strength done, and then figure out how you can fit the cardio in around that.
Yeah, I just on what Lee said there, coming from a CrossFit background, you're gonna find the foundations program less intensive. I've done a couple of CrossFit WODs, and you most of the time going balls to the wall, depending on the scenario and your tribe and your gym and your culture and all that sort of thing. It's usually always a balls to the wall workout, and that's cool. But just remember the goal of the foundations. The goal of the foundations is not a balls to the wall workout. It's about bringing up the weak links, the things that we over a 16, 17-year career training people saw over and over and over again that were really common in people. That's what the foundations program is designed to help overcome. And it's just exactly what it sounds. It's just about it's going back, building a foundation, and then moving forward.
Yep. All right, let's jump into these masterclasses because we're halfway through the show already and we haven't touched on them yet, and this is what everybody's here for. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go through each of our 5 masterclasses and talk about exactly how you incorporate this. And I'm going to start with the mobility masterclass because this is probably the most popular one, and it's the one that comes up the most. Now, if you've got the mobility masterclass, chances are you also have one or several of our other flexibility programs, meaning the 18-minute stretching routine, maybe the loaded stretching routine, maybe you've even got the UMS online coaching, which has its own mobility included. And the biggest mistake that people make is they ask, and this is what inspired this whole week, they say, how do I fit the 18-minute stretching routine, the mobility masterclass, and the loaded stretching routine into my workout? And the answer is you don't.
You don't. You
absolutely
do not
do it. That's like saying, how do I fit phase 1, 2, and 3 of the UMS into my 1 week? You don't. You choose, you are on phase 1, and when you finish phase 1, you move to phase 2. Now, when you've got the mobility masterclass, this is how you would most likely do it because it takes time. Those pancake and those middle splits workouts, they take time. If you are doing it on its own and you don't have any of our other programs, don't do any of the other stretching programs with it. Focus only on the mobility masterclass and do phase 1. And the way you would do it is it depends on how much time you've got. You can get a good result by doing each of those workouts, the middle splits, the pancake, and the back bridge once a week. If you did each of them once a week and you did some general mobility daily, which would be like the 18-minute stretching routine, or what I do at the end of the at-home workouts for the last 10 or 15 minutes, that's general mobility. If you did that on the days off, that would be enough that you will see progress. If you're a high achiever, you can do the pancake twice a week, the back bridge twice a week, and I would only do the middle splits once a week, and you have to have a 72-hour break between it, which would mean this is an example, this is how I would do it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Pancake Monday, Thursday, back bridge Tuesday, Friday, and then middle splits either Wednesday or Saturday. You could do it on Saturday so you have a break in the middle of the week. And these are real workouts. These are challenging.
When I did it the first time, I had serious DOMs after those workouts. Like you knew that you'd worked out, and that's what it was designed for. I mean, if you've got all of the programs, then it's probably valuable to know how we did it. You know, we started with the 18-minute routine, and we did that solidly every day as a warm-up preparation for our workout or on the off days for about a year. And we got incredible results just by doing that. That opened up our body, that awakened areas of the body that had been stiff and sore for a long period of time, and we got a phenomenal result, as did our tribe here.
But we plateaued before that year, and that was the problem, and that's why we created the loaded stretching routine.
And then we moved on to doing the loaded routine, and we integrated that in our workouts, and we got phenomenal results.
And it replaced the 18-minute routine.
Absolutely.
It wasn't we added to it, because how many hours have you got in a day? It was okay, we need something new, we need to periodize, so we replaced the 18-minute stretching routine with the loaded stretching routine.
And this was also at the period of time where we started to really have a breakthrough and realize that flexibility training should be treated just like strength training, and you need different programs to cycle, different routines to cycle, different stimulus that the body's going to then adapt to at a faster rate, to avoid plateau.
Which is exactly why we created the Mobility Masterclass, so that there was a phase 1 and then a phase 2, and then it moves into end range strength phase 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's right. So anyone who's at a beginner level, and this is really important to understand, it's so appealing to jump to the biggest, sharpest, shiniest object in your toolbox immediately. But you eliminate the ability to progress based on each of the layers of stimulus, and that I really believe. One of my mentors said this to me once, when we would have a playbook of different overload techniques that we could use for bodybuilding, and some of them were phenomenally difficult. And I always used to, you're really tempted to give that phenomenal one to your client because it produced such good results for you. And you're always a few years ahead of your client. So you're tempted to give them the biggest, worst, baddest workout on the book. And he's like, no, don't, because the most 9 times out of 10, that's probably going to be overstimulus for them. They're not ready for it. And the other 1 time out of 10, they're going to get an amazing result from just the basic superset or the cluster set or the drop set, and they don't need the rest of it. You're gonna leapfrog a whole bunch of potential progression by giving them the biggest thing. So I would say, if you're new to stretching, start with the 2-minute routine. Mm-hmm. Do that, exhaust that until you feel like you're not getting much of a result anymore. Then go to the loaded, and then go to the Mobility Masterclass. Use them as periodization.
Yeah, I very much see this in my physio practice, where you have people coming in and they want a very specific kind of technical, fancy exercise thing, and then we're like, hang on, let's look at what you're doing as a whole. And then you see that, they're not kind of ticking off any of the boxes in the bigger picture of strength, mobility, and some fitness. And so it's like, okay, why would we just focus on this one tiny bit when we could get 80% of the way there by just changing really simple things and building you up. So it's just
100%.
So I'm actually just looking at the Pancake 1 workout that I haven't done for so many years, because I created it a while ago, and man, there's a lot of volume in there and it's brutal. So good luck trying to do that and more stretching outside 100%. Of it.
Vinny Brow's saying that's exactly what I needed to know. Thank you. Yeah.
So before we move off the Mobility Masterclass, I'm going to talk about it specifically for those of you that have the UMS program. And if you don't have the UMS online coaching or the Foundations program, and you're doing your own workout, I'm going to give you a rough idea of how you would do it yourself. The Pancake 1 would be incorporated with your bent arm strength on Monday and Thursday, and it would completely replace the other stretches that are in there. You do not try to do both. And what that would mean is, so the A1 and the B1, the ostrich walk and the test the water, they're considered a warm-up. Okay, so that's why there's only one set of it. The working sets start with C1 and C2, which is the dumbbell eccentric Romanian deadlift. So you would get that ostrich walk and the test the water done. So you do your normal upper body warm-up, and you get ready for your bent arm strength session, and then you do the ostrich walk for between 2 and 6 minutes, and then you do the test the water for the same thing. And now you're warmed up, you're ready to go. You're not only warmed up for your bent arm strength, but you're warmed up for your pancake workout. And then, just like we do for the whole rest of the UMS, you do your one set of your primary bent arm strength movement, which, let's say it's Monday and it's a shoulder press, a vertical push. And then you would do one set of the dumbbell eccentric Romanian deadlift. Then you do your one set of the secondary, or the A2 of your bent arm strength, so it would be a pull-up progression. And then you do one set of the same eccentric Romanian deadlift until you've done 3 to 5 sets of the eccentric Romanian deadlift, because that's your C1. And then you go to C2. Okay, actually, no, there's C1 and C2 here, so you'd be changing them exactly like you would with your primary strength lifts. So you do A1 strength, and then C1 pancake, then you do A2 strength, then C2 pancake like that.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because I was getting confused there.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it's as simple as this. You do, it's like this, guys. You do one set of strength training, and one set of flexibility training.
Yeah,
very simple. And you finish the prescribed amount of sets of whatever is in order of the strength program before you move on to the next strength movements, and the same with the flexibility program. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
The most important thing is that if you're doing the specialisation program, which is the Mobility Masterclass, you are doing it in replacement of the stretches that are in your program for UMS online coaching.
That's exactly right. Now, the only thing that I would say here is, because in phase 1 and phase 2 of the Mobility Masterclass, it's so focused on the pancake and the middle splits and the back bridge, The back bridge does open your hip flexors up a little bit, but if you wanted to on the pancake day, you could do a little bit of hip flexor stretches, okay? And there's plenty of those that are in all of our other programs. You can choose whatever one you want. Diagonal stretch, hero stretch, passive hip flexor stretch, whatever you want, okay? So then we move on to the back bridge. Now the back bridge is exactly the same as what I just described, except you would do it with your lower body days. So your strength training, your squat on Tuesday or your deadlift on Friday, and in between sets you're doing all the shoulder opening movements for the back bridge, okay? And then the middle splits, either Wednesday or Saturday, is the flexibility done between sets for your straight arm strength training. For those of you that don't have the UMS, the theme of what I've done there is you're doing lower body flexibility paired with upper body strength training. So it's what we call active recovery. So instead of doing the traditional way of strength training, which is I'm going to do a set of my horizontal push and then I'm going to sit down and do nothing for 2 minutes while I rest, and then I'll do a set.
Now we have cushy chairs here. It's pretty tempting.
Yeah, yeah. It is. And it's the way that we were training at Unity Gym for a long time, you know, which is, it's just dead time. We realized that if we ever wanted to be flexible, we needed, as in literally flexible, not flexible with training, but if you wanted to ever be able to do the splits, we needed to find a way to be more efficient in the window that we had to train, and so that's why we came up with this formula, and it works.
Well, also optimized, because people often want to stretch what they're training, but it's, you know, clear that it, you know, that inhibits performance and potentially increases injury risk. So
that's a really good point, Phil, because that is the reason why we do it. If anybody says, why don't you stretch your hamstrings while you're doing squats? Because it weakens your squat.
Yeah.
It makes you it makes you weaker, and it also makes you injury prone as well. So that's how you use the mobility masterclass with your program. Anything you guys want to add to that?
No, I just want to. Absolutely. I just want to make keep it as simple as possible. I don't think you should go into A1s and A2s and this and that, because that's going to confuse the crap out of people.
But those are for people that are in the UMS online coaching program. There's people that are in that program that want to know, how do I do this?
Okay,
that's how you do it.
I think the basic takeaway there with the principles is really clear, which is just trying to use that rest time efficiently and bringing in the elements that you most want to work on from your mobility masterclass with the elements of strength that you most want to work on with your strength.
Yep. So. And you stop all other stretching on that day. There is no, how do I also include the 18-minute stretching routine? You don't.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys. Remember, we bang the drum of load management a lot, and it's very important. That's why we talk about it almost every show. Stretching is load to the muscle. It's very important that you understand that. So if you're trying to combine a ton of different stretching programs into one, that's piss poor load management. That's the type of thing that leads to an injury, you know, and it might not happen the first time around. It might not even happen in the first mesocycle of training, but it will happen. You will overload the tissues in your body.
And if you don't overload the tissues in your body, you'll overload your brain.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you're just like, oh my God,
it's
how do I
too
fit all
much.
this in? And you become stressed. And training shouldn't be a stressful experience. Well, I don't think it should. Not what we do. Training should be an enjoyable experience. It should be something that you look forward to, not something.
All training should be an enjoyable experience.
So now we'll move on to skills training. So how do you incorporate skills training? And the skills training masterclasses that we offer are really the handstand masterclass and the press to handstand masterclass. And there's two ways to go about this. One way is that you do a separate workout for it. And that depends on how much time you've got. Some people have that and they can do it. And you can get the handstand masterclass done in, you know, you could do it in half an hour, 40 minutes, you know. And you'll find that if you're doing the UMS, like one of our members, I can't remember his name, was saying this the other day, some of these movements are doubled up from the programs. What should I do about that? You don't need to do them twice, you know. You only need to do wrist conditioning once a week or twice a week. You don't need to do it 4 times if 2 of your programs say do it twice a week, you know. So you'll find that if you're doing that second workout, you'll look at some things and go, well, I don't need to do this twice because I'm doing it in this workout. That's one way to do it. But if you're like most people and you can only train once a day, there is only one way to do skills training, and that is right at the start of the workout.
Yeah, and I've learnt the hard way, and it's extremely frustrating when you do your skills work at the back, especially with balancing, hand balancing stuff. Once your central nervous system is fried, you have Barkley's chance
No
of
chance.
performing good handstands.
Yeah, no chance.
And-
You've got to do it at
And
the
you
start.
increase your risk of injury. Like it's just
Massively,
so hard
yeah.
to control.
Yeah.
Not only the skill, but also the load that's going through your tissues. It's
Yep.
just
Yeah, the difference here is I could walk out on the gym floor right now and do a 20 or 30 second handstand with 1 or 2 kick up attempts. And if I tried to do that after the workout I'm about to do, I wouldn't stand a chance in getting up,
Yep.
you know?
And I want to say this really quickly because some people, when we talk about this goal workout and then they talk about adding the skills and they go, man, this is like almost 2 hours of training. I don't have the time for that. I want to make this really, really clear. We've written these programs in a way that they can be that they can be incorporated with the UMS training, or they can be something that's done completely on their own. Now, if you are somebody that has purchased the handstand masterclass from us and that is it, that's all you have, and you really want to prioritize handstand training, then there is enough in there that you can build an entire workout around that. And it's going to give you a warm-up, some core training, wrist conditioning, shoulder conditioning, and handstand skill training. And you could build it into a 45 to 60-minute workout just with that program. But this is really important that you switch on to this. If you're doing what we recommend, which means you've got your goal workout and you're doing your strength and flexibility training and you're also incorporating the handstand masterclass, then you only need to do 15 to 20 minutes at the start of your workout to see consistent progress. So some people are going to say, but I can't fit this whole thing in 15 to 20 minutes. Don't.
Yeah.
Just do some of it. Because the warm-up, it doesn't matter if the handstand masterclass warm-up is a little bit different to the UMS warm-up. You only need to do one warm-up,
Yeah.
Warm up your body, get it ready. So make sure you warm up your wrists and your elbows and shoulders if you're doing a handstand, of course. But then you don't need to do, say, 5 or 6 exercises for the handstand if you don't have the time because you've only got an hour and 20 minutes to train. Do 3 sets. Do 3 sets of handstands. And if you do that 3 or 4 days a week or even 2 days a week, you will see progress towards getting better at a handstand.
Yeah, frequency is the key to skill development. It's not volume.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
It's so much about your brain learning the movement and not so much about just your muscles being able to control it. Like you build up the muscles from doing the strength training, but if you can just like keep giving your brain a drip feed of how to learn a skill, and that's how you just
Yeah, someone shared a podcast with me the other day. I can't remember who it is. They emailed it to me. If you're on the stream now, let me know. Of one of the world's top circus coaches that teach adults new skills, and he also does a lot of research involved. He's involved in a lot of the research on the neural pathway development for learning a new skill as an adult. And yeah, that's what they're basically saying.
Yeah,
Frequency
that's
is absolutely
straight
key.
from my motor control and learning unit at university, sports science degree. Like it's just so much better to, instead of on a Sunday like doing it until 3 hours until your shoulders hurt. Like if you can just tip like even 10 minutes every day, just parts of that skill, your brain starts to figure it out and then utilizes the strength that you're gaining from your strength training.
Now onto the press to handstand. The press to handstand is a beast in itself, and we recommend only doing it a maximum of twice a week, sometimes even only once a week, and sometimes you can do a half version a second time. So what I mean by that is a lot of people will talk about the pain and the DOMs that they feel in their hip flexors from all the compression work. So it is possible that you could do the full press to handstand workout on Wednesday, but then on Saturday you only do the first half of the workout where you do all of the workout except for the compression work, and you've got to see how your body responds to that. Now, if you're doing it on its own and you don't have any of our other programs, then just do it like that. Just make sure you got 72 hours between when you do it. Don't try and do that on Monday and Wednesday. It will kill you. You want to do Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, whatever.
And for God's sake, make sure that you can do at least like a 15-second handstand.
Yeah, you need some serious strength in your body before you start doing a press to handstand. And you need to be able to kind of do a handstand.
Yeah, the difference here with the frequency side of things is that press to handstand's more about maximal kind of compression strength, and with any time we're doing maximal strength efforts, that's when you need the whereas for most people doing the handstand masterclass, it won't be a maximal effort, it'll be more of a skill
well, the handstand is more of a skill movement, but the press to handstand is absolutely a feat of strength and flexibility.
So that's just why you wouldn't be putting it in with the frequency kind of focus.
And now quickly, for those of you that have the UMS program and you want to work towards a press to handstand, do it on your straight arm strength days on Wednesday and Saturday. Do it at the start of the workout, and do it at the cost of the rest of the straight arm strength workout.
Yep.
You must understand that if you are doing a press to handstand, I do not know how you will ever achieve it if you can't do it, if you're not prioritizing it, which means that it becomes the focal point of the workout, and whatever you can get done after that, that's what you do. That's the only way that Yanni and I were able to develop a press to handstand, is that on Wednesday and Saturday on our straight arm strength days, we went, this is what we're doing first. And then when we finished, it was whatever we had time and energy for that we did, a little bit of straight arm strength. And any of that straight arm strength stuff from the UMS is going to help with the press to handstand, like especially scapular push-ups and trap 3 raises, any of that shoulder conditioning is really going to help with it. But understand that whatever your straight arm strength work is, it's going to be supplementary to the press to handstand.
I was fried after the press to handstand
they are
workouts.
So neurologically fatiguing, those workouts. They kill you, man.
Yeah.
And whatever you can do after that is like a bonus, like good for you. Those press to handstand workouts for us, if we hammered them and did not rest, they took us about 40 minutes, and God, you were fried at the end, and often they'd take more.
If
like
anyone
an hour.
feels like a laugh, go back to when Rad was teaching me press handstands on the live stream when we used to do it out in the gym. That's
that was a good one,
struggle.
Right? And now we're on to the Muscle Up Masterclass, and the Muscle Up Masterclass is a real easy one.
Which we're talking now about as a rings masterclass. But it's all right, because everyone knows it as a Muscle Up Masterclass.
Everyone knows it as the Muscle Up Masterclass, but we've actually, as of today, we've changed the name to the Gymnastics Rings Masterclass, and we've done that for a very good reason, because the truth is the muscle up is what you will develop at the end of that program once you achieve the ultimate level, but it isn't necessarily the goal of it, and it has turned too many people away from it because they think, I'm not ready to do a muscle up. And the truth is, it takes you from absolute beginner, from somebody that can't do one single pull-up. That program is amazing for.
It could also be called the pull-up masterclass. It could,
so we called it the gymnastics
rings. And the rings at the moment, when a lot of people can't get into the gym, is just it's a really great tool. If you can just get like some $20 rings, hang them up on a tree.
It's
a very safe branch.
It's brilliant for developing that false grip strength in the forearms and hands and wrists. It's and that's why we've rebranded it the Rings Masterclass.
Gymnastics Rings.
Gymnastics Rings.
And this one's real simple. This replaces your bent arm strength workout. You do nothing. Like if you've got this and you're doing the UMS program, this replaces Monday and Thursday. There is so much volume in that program, and everybody that does it finishes the workout and goes, oh my God, my upper body. It's so good at developing upper body strength. It's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be doing that one in a week or so myself.
So if you want to know how to fit that, if you don't have the
Thursday.
UMS program and you want to know how to fit the Gymnastics Rings Masterclass into your training, it becomes your upper body strength training days for what we call bent arm strength in the UMS, and you do it with a 72-hour break between each workout. I would definitely
not to be confused with the straight arm strength days.
Straight, it's very different.
Very different.
Unless you want to join me on my quest to get golfer's elbow, and then I'd recommend doing it
every day,
daily,
3 or 4 days a week. And then you'll get it real.
That's
quick.
right. That's right. Is that all? Is that everything?
That's everything.
The spine.
No. The spine mobility masterclass is the last one, and this one's really easy. Do this every day.
Every day spine day.
People say there's no sets and reps or whatever written in there. That's intentionally. There is no sets and reps with that. It's just the amount of time that you're willing to give. And I would strongly recommend that if you're learning how to do this, that you dedicate between 5 and 15 minutes a day for it. That's how I developed the level of spine mobility and control that I've got. And the way that so let's say you're on the bottom end. Let's say you can only do 5 minutes. What you do is start with phase 1. And I can't remember exactly how many movements are in each phase. I think it might be 3 or 2 or 3. You basically do, you don't do sets and reps. Just do, if let's say there's 3 minutes, 3 moves, and you've got 5 minutes, just spend 1 minute and 45 seconds or whatever it is on each of those moves. Because the moves look like this when you're learning it. It's like, if you're on the podcast, you're watching me do some really slow stuff. It's not like do 5 reps, rest, do it. It's not like that. It's just do whatever time you've got for it. And then if you move on to phase 2, the way you do it is spend 80% of your time working on the thing that you're trying to develop that you can't do from phase 2, and spend 20% of the time maintaining the thing that you've already developed from phase 1. And then phase 3, you'd spend 80% of your time on phase 3 and 20% of your time on phase 1 and 2. So when I do spine mobility now, because I'm not really trying to learn anything, I only do it for about 1 to 2 minutes. And I do a tiny bit of everything. I'll do like lateral spine waves for about 15 seconds, and that's what it looks like after you get to our level.
And this program has massive benefit if you're you can fit it in when you're out in public, and you can really help, social distancing.
Yeah, that's
people will not stand. People will not stand within 6
When
feet
you're
of you
doing
if
spine
you're doing
raising.
this. So it's like a
that's
double
right.
whammy.
Also, if you end up if you find yourself on the dance floor of a club,
Oh, yes.
when
Just
once
pop it
you
in.
know once
You're going to win some dance comps.
mate, yeah, absolutely.
And the last thing that I want to say about the spine mobility is except for the loaded spine mobility, the Jefferson curl, which I would recommend only ever doing a maximum twice a week. That is more than enough to do loaded forward flexion, and really take your time with that, and there's instructions for that in the video. But everything else, unless you guys want to debate this with me, I don't think you can do too much of it. So you can literally...
We got our friends who are chiropractors get hard-ons when they see the spinal mobility masterclass. It is a really, really good program for everybody.
I do it all the time. Like I would recommend, if you can do it morning, noon and night, do it morning, noon and night. If you can remember, you think about this, we do this naturally, right? When you've been sitting down for too long, you stretch out. That's a part of spine mobility that you're doing because you've been in forward flexion for so long. It feels good to go into extension, you know?
Some serious arm sweat going on there, mate.
Motion is lotion, baby.
Yeah.
Get moving. Your spine will be happy for it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's it, guys. If you've got any questions, put them in and we'll answer them. But this is some valuable information for any of you.
Something also that I want to announce, which is like a lot of this stuff might seem a little bit overwhelming to the average person, and also a little bit like, wow, what are they talking about? A1, A2, this, that, if you're not used to programming and things like that. We're going to be doing a specific stream to the UMS online coaching where this is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be going deep into the programming side of things. It's something we've wanted to do for a long time. We'll announce a time soon. Anyone who wants to share when their ideal time would be.
Well, we don't really have an option with that, Yanni. We spoke about that. It's really going to be straight after this show, because if we do it at any other time, then people in America are not going to be able to join in.
Yep.
And so
there you
that's
go.
what it's
So
going to
it'll
be.
probably be around
9:15. Yeah. And we're going to start that next week on Friday, and the first week is going to be all about reviewing some of our members' testing week videos so that we can help you individually to build your own program.
Yep, 100%. I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to add so much value to the UMS online coaching, let's rock it, guys.
Yeah, and just really I think we got into a lot of specifics there, but if people can just zoom out a little bit, see those big kind of principles that we're talking about, it will just give you so much power to hit your goals, because you'll be able to make your own decisions about how you fit this all together.
And guys, listen, anybody that's watched today's show that has our masterclasses and that really wants to understand how to do this, I would watch this show a couple of times. You're not
go back through this whole week.
Yeah, seriously.
This whole week, this series is really important that you take it together as
and I'm actually turning this week of videos into content
mini
for all
course.
of the masterclasses. It's going to be included in the masterclasses, so you can watch this whenever you want. You don't have to try and find it on the Facebook page. But there's some really, really amazing information here for you guys, and you need to absorb it and you need to understand how to apply it.
Cool. Good stuff.
Okay, sorry. So Andy Lawson's quickly saying with rehab. So look, Andy, the purpose of this week was about the masterclasses, but I'm going to tell you that one real quick, and Phil can chime in. But we might have to maybe do this one next week. We can go through.
Yeah, I was about to just reply that we'll maybe talk about that on Monday.
Let's do it on Physio for Monday.
Yeah, we'll do it on Physio Monday, Andy. So we'll talk all specifically about the 4 rehab programs that we have and how you fit them in, and volume and all of that stuff.
Cool. It's a weekend for us now, guys. That's a wrap for the week. As we said, this series this week is going to be put into a mini course for those of you who do grab the masterclasses, just to make it really easy. And it's really important that you go back through this.
Oh, we haven't even actually officially announced it. The flash sale for this weekend is all the masterclasses. Choose which one you want.
Oh,
we haven't actually announced
right.
that. So we're about to do that now. So you can get any one of our... you can choose. It's the first time we've done a choose... Last week we did the Choose Your Own Adventure for the rehab program. And because we had a lot of people thanking us for that, saying that they're really grateful that they could choose the rehab program that they wanted, we thought, well, let's try it for the masterclasses as well. So this weekend, for the first time ever, you can choose either the gymnastics rings masterclass, the mobility masterclass, the handstand masterclass, the press to handstand masterclass, or the spine mobility masterclass. You can get it for $49 US each. That is a third of the price it normally is. They're normally $149 US. And you can, if you want to get all of them, you can just subscribe to the UMS online coaching program for $49 a month and you'll get all of them.
Everything. All right, guys, have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to be putting more details about that masterclass into my daily Inner Circle email, so look out for that. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Sound of Movement, the Unity Gym podcast.
We've cracked a milestone, over 10,000 listens now.
10,000 listens.
So
Woo!
We're pretty much a big deal.
We're pretty much a big deal, that's right. And Phil's doing an amazing job with that. A big shout out to anyone who's watching the replay on YouTube, and big shout out to everyone in our UMS Movement Mastermind who got involved. If you haven't already, guys, if you're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, get yourself over to Facebook, search for the UMS Movement Mastermind. It's a private Facebook group, but anyone can join. There is a prereq though. You gotta agree to the terms and conditions. You've got to agree to the code of conduct. It's a little checkbox, and we probably deny, 50 people, 100 people a week who fail to do that, and it's very, very upsetting.
It's weird. Just do it.
All right, guys. See you next week. Big Physio Monday coming at you in a couple of days. Otherwise, have a fantastic, safe, COVID-free weekend. Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, it's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that
It's
far.
the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.